Welcome back to the Outreach Project family. This is Josh.
This is Zach.
This is Jeremy.
Hello, Jeremy.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you? You're awfully far away. Ooh, the viewers just hated that.
Dude,
but now
we can cut
edit
that out.
Actually, this is our second podcast together.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
We did a first one, and it was very, very good content. Very unlistenable, I would say.
Yes.
I agree.
The audio just wasn't quite there, was it? All the scratchy noises going on.
Yeah, but we're cooking now.
I love it.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get him on for 3 months now.
Yes. Busy schedules.
Why are you a busy man? What do you do?
What do I do?
What's your day-to-day? I know we've talked about this before, but...
Yeah, a lot of people may not have heard it since we took the first one down pretty quick. So I'm the facility manager here at First Church of God. I enjoy just taking care of the day-to-day stuff here at First Church of God, the maintenance. What I really get excited about is putting teams together to do ministry together here at the church, getting to meet new people. Just kind of like in the Bible where the guys are working, fishermen, doing different things and doing a task. I think guys can just relate to that and chat and talk and share. So,
what are some teams?
There's a team. There's a pantry. There's a group of guys working at the pantry. There's a team of electricians that got a lot of master electricians that come through and have done a lot of the light changeovers here in the building to LED. We're working on right now getting an outside maintenance team together, a baptism setup and tear down team together, and tables and chairs, event type setup and tear down. So,
what's a baptism setup team?
So, like,
just fill it.
Well, yeah. So you have to uncover it, take the lid off, fill it. There's a little bit of maintenance on it, and then when it's empty, when we're done, then you empty it and have to wipe it down, clean it, and then recover it back up. So, and there's towels to be washed and different stuff like that. So, yeah.
They should make it bring your own towel.
But yeah, if anybody's interested in that, they can go to the webpage on the serve area, and you can click a link and sign up for that. So,
yeah, sweet. How do we know you?
How do you know me? Well, you tell me. When's the first time you met me?
Oh,
probably
I don't know.
Back in Guys for God was probably the first time I really knew you. I mean, I probably always knew who you were. But probably Guys for God back in the day, messing around.
I wasn't a guy for God. So
you weren't?
No.
I didn't go 4th and 5th grade.
Dang.
I Sunlight Clubbed it up and then collided it up.
Oh, so you skipped over Guys for God.
I did.
Oh,
I did.
dude.
He was already a guy for God. He didn't need that.
He didn't need that.
I remember, I don't know why, but either you or Andy made me stand up on a table and recite a verse for no reason one day.
Yeah.
That's just what we did at Guys for God.
Do you remember?
And then played with Nerf guns.
Do you remember the verse?
Absolutely not.
You probably did for a while, though.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we know you now based off of young adult group, I'd say. You came and spoke to us our senior night, whatever.
Yep.
Just talk to us about this next small group that you and your wife lead. You want to tell people about that? What is that group?
Yeah, I'd love to. So my wife and I lead a young adults group, which is 18 to 25. Just that opportunity. I think so many times after youth group, you can just fall off and kind of, hey, I'm going to go do what I want to do type of things. But I think we've found out that's why I came and chatted with you. We found out from kids saying, oh, I wish I would have stayed involved, or I wish I would have had some type of group, because that's a pretty big part of your life. A lot of big life decisions are happening between 18 to 25, and just making sure that we're staying grounded in the Word and, still searching God out. So we have a group that meets on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock down in the youth hallway, and then a group that meets on Wednesday night at 6:30 at our house and get together and do community and study the Word and maybe talk about some topics and just wrestle through things together.
What's that Wednesday night group look like? What's that format?
Wow. So it's kind of cool right now. I just feel like it's really cool because we're getting just a collective group of people from different schools, from Grace, from Huntington, from
work,
from Purdue, Fort Wayne. I mean, it's just kind of cool. It's not just First Church of God kids. It's kids from just in the community, which is really cool. There's different stages of life, like you said. Some just work, and so it's just really cool. Right now we just finished Acts, and then we're getting ready to jump into something next, which you guys got to fill out note cards, because the night needs to be about what's interesting to you guys and what you want to learn about. So it's all it's all for you guys. So we want to make sure that you're learning and studying stuff that you have interest in.
Yeah, so it's kind of just a positive hangout place of same-ish areas in life people.
Yeah, ish for sure.
Reading some Bible and talking about it, but like
praying.
also having some fun. And
play some
just
games.
having community.
Having community, yep.
It's a great place to be.
It is.
Want to be there, reach out to us, or just show up.
Yeah, for sure. Now that it's going to, hopefully it'll start getting warmer, we'll go out and play a little bit of sand volleyball or have a fire or something, just have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. In the summer, we're going to be doing some cool things like that.
Some parties and some different outreach events. So we'd love, if you're watching and you're a young adult, around this Columbus City area, we'd love for you to reach out to us. We're going to do we're not trying to steal kids from other churches. We would just love to have maybe some quarterly events that we just come together and hang out together, and get to know some other like-minded people, or invite your friends that don't know Christ. We'd love just to reach out and, like you said, guys, just have community and love on people and tell those that don't know about Jesus about the good news, man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Who first told you about Jesus?
Wow, that's a really good question. What I can remember, my parents talked to me about it, but I still remember my children's ministry pastor. So like what Debbie does here, my lady, rock star lady, was Carol Four. She did an amazing job. She was a rock star of a children's pastor before it was actually a job that you got paid to do. She volunteered and did it, and she's made a huge impact in my life.
Nice. And where was that at?
That was over at the Cherbusco Church of the Nazarene on State Road 205.
And you grew up in that church?
I grew up in that church until I graduated, and about 19 is when I came over to First Church of God.
Like 2019?
No, 19 years old.
I know. He's way older than that, man. Come on.
Very funny, Josh.
Yeah, sweet. And then from there, you married Maureen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And how has your life grown since then? What all have you done?
Yeah. You mean my walk with Christ, or when you ask?
Just your life.
Yeah.
A bit of Christ.
Start before, tell us how you grew up, and then progressively how you met your wife, and kind of a little life story, if you will.
I can give you a mini snapshot. I was over there with Carol. I was on fire for the Lord, doing what I could, trying to memorize verses, memorizing the books of the Bible in order. I can't do it now, but I could do it then.
How does that make sense?
Huh?
How does that make sense?
I could do all 66 books in order, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and do that, but I don't know that I could do it right now. I'm getting old.
Try it.
I can't do it. I promise you I can't do it.
Okay.
But then I went into high school, and middle school was good. I got bullied in elementary school a decent amount, and into a little bit of middle school, and then just was really reaching out to the Lord. And then of course things started going better, and then after I get in high school, I've more of the I could be the good guy at church somewhat, but maybe not make all the best decisions when I wasn't at church. Graduated straight away a little bit, and then came back to know on a deeper walk with him. It's probably about when I was 21, 22, and just said enough's enough, and actually walked out of a job, walked out with some friends that just weren't good for me, and had prayed for God for a different opportunity. And that's actually when I started my office cleaning business, and I just had a kind of a fresh start. Completely walked out on a Thursday night and never looked back, and was done with that. So then just continued to grow, in my walk with the Lord then, and still had some struggles. Just because you make a decision like that doesn't mean everything is going to be roses now. But did a little bit of dating, and then just decided I needed to date God for a little while, and just work on my relationship with the Lord. And then it was about 6 months later, then I saw Maureen at church, and that's the rest of history. As you guys would say, you guys have heard that story enough, and all the good stories of me watching Maureen at church and us back and forth, and me finally having enough guts to go up and talk to her. So,
and then taking her and her boyfriend to church.
Yes. and then, yeah. Hey,
we don't need to talk about.
Oh yeah, we do.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
We sure do. Just know that the day that I reached out to Maureen, she went back to college and had 3 other guys called her on her answering machine. And there's this one guy that she still kind of had a crush on.
The flame was burning.
The flame was burning. I would agree with you. And she still had this guy back in Columbia City. And so I don't know. I was just at peace with it. And I would run up and date her 2.5 hours away, go on dates, and then knowing that she's going out with this other guy. And I just was okay with it. I mean, it was worth I was kind of worried about getting hurt. But
would you still be okay with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, you wouldn't.
The answer would be no.
No, I'd be no.
The answer is no.
Depends on how quick she shut it off.
We'll help you with that one. The answer is no.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be the man I am.
Why would you be?
Oh, I don't know. That would be bad. So anyhow, we all know that name. Everybody knows that name.
We're not going to say
it. We
it.
don't need to name it. We're not going to say it.
We're
not going to say it. But anyhow, the funny story that they're bringing up is when he came to his senses, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, maybe I am interested in Marine," because he was playing hard to get with her. He drives, he's on his way from Indianapolis on his motorcycle and calls Marine's parents and asks if he can spend the night there, because he's on a motorcycle. And of course,
this was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and Maureen were pretty.
Yeah, we were pretty serious. Yeah. We were exclusive, or I don't know what you guys are calling it. We were dating.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm not sure. You guys always help me with my terminology. But anyhow, so then I go to pick Maureen up on Sunday morning to go to church, and here comes this gentleman, and I get to take this guy that likes my girlfriend and her to church in a single cab truck.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time.
Who sat in the middle?
Maureen sat in the middle.
That'd be weird if he did.
Yes. And that's how we said at church, too, so I was just like, oh my goodness, this is nuts,
Was it at church here?
It took her to the church, the old church on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And he'd spent the night, and her and I had went on a date, and I dropped her off, and he had already went to bed. But get this, when we wake up in the morning and she walks out, and she's gonna go into the bathroom and get ready, and he walks around the corner and goes, "Good morning, beautiful." What's up with that? You know what I mean? And her parents think there's nothing there. Like, yeah, whatever. So anyhow, I won out. I'm victorious.
Good.
I got to marry Maureen. So.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, and just moving. I mean, that the rest of the story. Moving on, and got married to Maureen. Lived out on Airport Road. Had 2 kids. We traveled some before we had kids, but yeah, she's definitely made me a lot better man than I am. I mean, we're both firstborn, both leaders, and so you can imagine a little bit of rubbing on that. But she's definitely had patience with me and helped me to be a lot better man in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So
good. Tell us a bit about how you started working at church here.
So I was on leadership team early on, like in my early 20s, and did trustee for a couple terms, and then did stewardship team for a couple terms. Had to take a break in between there, so just blessed to have guys pour into me and mentor me here at the church and on the church board. Just had a heart for this place. Was around here when it was built, obviously, since at the other church, and just love to serve and love to help out. And my gifts and abilities as far as construction, fix and repair, I just love doing that stuff. And I remember actually sitting in this room, and I was working at another job, and I remember we were just looking at this facility manager's position, and I had actually been praying for another position, actually in Fort Wayne, to take like a facility leader. Actually, it was a company called Great Batch, and I had a lead in there, and I had submitted my information in there to maybe take that position. I just felt like that's something I wanted to do. And we're sitting here, I'm sitting right there, and we're talking about this position here at church, and I didn't think about me. I just thought I'd just volunteer. And I remember Johnny looking right at me and sticking his finger like this close and going, "We just need to clone you, Jeremy." And it like hit me for the first time, like, wow. And my wife and I have been praying for 2 weeks for this position there. And actually, like, I think he just had me set up to come here and to do it. And so I went home and talked to my wife and called the next day and said, "You know what, I think I might be interested in that position." So talk about the Lord being as clear as he can to have your pastor stick your fingers is actually closer than I got to you and say, "We
Don't
just
get that close.
Yeah, we need to clone you." I like it when the Lord's clear with me on stuff like that.
It's not always.
It's not always. I'm trying to sort it out, but that was very, very black and white.
Do you think Johnny knew what he was doing when he said that?
I don't know. That's a really good question, Josh. I don't know. I think he was just. I'm not sure. That's a great question.
And how intense was the interview process since they knew you? And he's clearly they wanted someone like you.
Yeah. So it wasn't as intense, but we'd still sit down and had some. There's some questions that need to be asked, and they needed to make sure that this was going to be a good fit, and so. Good. Yeah. So that's how I got the position.
How many years ago was that?
11 years ago. 11 years ago.
And how long do you think you'll be here?
I don't know. That's a great question. I kind of hold everything loosely. I mean, most of the jobs I've had have been word of mouth, and the Lord provides opportunities, and so I hold everything loosely,
Is this something you think you would retire with, do forever, or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, it definitely could be. But I just kind of hold things loosely.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool wherever the Lord wants to lead or have me do something. That'd be kind of cool. I know there's sometime it wouldn't be. I know there's some of us that have talked about when we get older, it'd be fun to go. These third world countries, they have these wells and they need service. I think it would be cool to do some mission work where you're just riding around in a side by side and, doing maintenance on these wells, doing a little fishing. Doing maintenance on these wells, doing a little fishing. Fisher for men and fisher for the fish. I mean, just doing some missions work that way. Yeah, exactly. I just want to catch it. I think it'd just be fun. That's something that a couple of us have talked about doing. Going to these kind of remote areas and just figuring it out and using my gifts and abilities to help bring people clean water, Yeah. I don't know. We'll see where the Lord leads.
So tell us, Jeremy, a little bit about what do you do for fun? What do you like to eat? Stuff like that.
I like to eat brisket. I like to eat smoked brisket. Yes, don't you guys like to eat smoked brisket? Oh yeah, I like brisket. I like to learn how to smoke some things. That's something I'm trying to figure out. It's just cooking meat a little bit.
Like meat, right?
Yeah, meat.
Dude. All right.
Yeah, meat. Yeah, meat. I want to do that, and then I also my other hobby. I told you guys this before is dating my wife. Unashamedly, you can ooh and all you want, but it's been a lot of fun doing a lot of stuff with her, traveling and doing getaways and. Family, I like to help people out, like whatever, come alongside, just do projects together with people and have community.
Yeah.
So
you're a busy dude.
Yeah. Lately it's just been a busy season, but it's kind of exciting. I think things are tapering down a little bit. A couple of projects are finishing up, and so,
You like fishing, don't you?
I do. I'm not the best at it, but Wyatt and I are decided this year we're going to do a lot more fishing and we're going to shoot more guns. So if anybody's got some good fishing spots, I'd love to come fishing with you. You might have a guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was riding around with a guy in the truck one day at work. He's like, yeah, that lake's pretty good. That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. Should probably go there. So I got all the spots figured out now.
Let's do it. It's always hard when some of these guys say, oh, this place is a really good fishing hole, but they don't tell you right where to set or right how to jig them, and then you go out and try it, and they're probably just laughing at you.
Different lures.
Lures, yeah. What do you guys like to do? You guys anyone of you like to fish? You like to fish, don't you?
I love fishing.
Yeah.
I like in the wild, but
I like ice fishing better.
Ice fishing?
Yeah.
Do either one of you hunt?
Yeah.
I've been out a couple times, but not an avid hunter.
Yeah, I've never been.
Yep. Hunt, fish, sports. The good old Indiana.
Yeah.
I love bass fishing specifically. Yeah. Bass fishing, golf, being outside.
Yeah. Have you golfed this year yet?
I have not golfed this year.
Oh. Huh.
Have you golfed, Josh?
Yeah, and I always invite him.
Where'd you golf at?
Everywhere. Yeah.
It was kind of nice back in Marchish, but it seems like it's been rough lately.
I haven't in a few weeks, but it's whatever. I'll hit the simulator Friday, but...
How's your game right now? Are you rusty through the winter?
Oh, yeah, everyone's rusty through the winter, yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't play golf, so I'm just asking.
All good. Yeah, no one cares, though.
The only way to not be rusty out of winter is doing, like, simulator leagues, but that's too much time.
The sport one has a simulator we went to. It's like $55 an hour. We did an hour and a half. So we did 2.5 hours because they're like, do you want to finish your round or just stop? And we're like, yeah, we want to finish the round.
Yeah,
like, let us finish.
Is it 55 just for like to rent the whole simulator and you can have as many people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad then.
Not at all.
Yeah.
If there's only 2 of you, get a lot more swings in, though, right?
Yeah, it was 3 of us. So it was fun. Uncle Larry. Shout out Uncle Larry.
Uncle Larry.
But yeah.
How are things going with you guys? How's your walk been? Like, where's the Lord been challenging either one of you guys?
I can go.
Yeah.
Probably boldness and obedience. We have a young adults group chat. I said this morning, obedience is not measured by outcome. I got that from a different podcast. And I've just been like trying to be obedient and trusting in God rather than being obedient and going like, oh, well, he didn't get baptized, so that's a failure, or getting down like that. And then boldness as in like in secular work and different environments, being able to proclaim faith. Yeah, just guys need to hear it.
I agree. That trusting part's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes people, and me included, can think, oh, the loving thing to do is just be nice and to just go with the flow, go with the way things are rolling. But I think the loving thing to do would be to share the one true Savior, the one the one way they're truly saved. If you love someone, why would you let them like not know the way to heaven? So
not know the joy that you have.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's the loving thing to do, and it's a lot easier said than done in some environments. But
agreed.
Just trusting and
yeah. And that's so good, Josh, because you're right. Sometimes we think we can just be nice to people and that's going to be enough, and it's not. And I think we get comfortable with that.
But there's also a balance between being too. If you continue this, you're gonna rot.
Yeah.
For eternity. It's like
Bible
whoa.
people.
I mean, maybe that's true, but let's have some love behind the message we're pushing out.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be with love. It has to be with a humble heart as well.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just important in our life. But
and people know. I mean, that's like building the relationships. You're talking about community, building those relationships and doing life together. Then you're able to kind of be a little bit more bold instead of that thumping. You know what I mean? There is that. You just don't go right off the bat thumping, but you just got to love on people and come alongside them and meet them where they're at.
Yeah, well, guys at work, like, I don't know. They're not listening, but guys talk about girls, and I'm like, not trying to be a part of that, and they're like, oh, you're just a virgin. And I'm like, well, I mean, yeah. Thank you. Like,
yes,
like, I don't know, we're told we're gonna be persecuted and mocked and stuff, so thank you. But then like one-on-one, you have good conversations when it's not 5-6 guys in the room. So just be yourself, be true to God, and just take a little bit of mocking at times. It's a blessing. It says, blessed are the ones that are mocked. So
it sure does.
Yeah.
And take it and just be humble about it.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Carry on.
Thanks for sharing. How about you, Zach?
For me, it's kind of three things in one, like main overarching thing. So patience, trust, and contentment in the in-between time. I don't really have a lot of big stuff going on in life right now, which is it's good because you can relax and stuff. But as somebody that's always had something going on, it's hard to not have something that you know is next. So just being content and trusting God's plan and what He has next for me, even though I have no idea what that is. Like just taking that one step at a time, and where you can't see anything ahead of you, just trusting God that He's gonna lead you in the right path and not lead you down the wrong way.
That's really good. And having a peace with that, isn't it?
That's probably one of the more difficult parts, is having the peace and contentment in that, because I'm so used to always doing something that I'm not doing something right now. So how do I find peace in the calm? Which it sounds weird, but
no, you're exactly right.
I mean, guys like us and you too, Josh, we all live pretty busy lives, so the calm is almost weird to us. So that peace is hard to find because we're not used to it.
Yep.
You can find the peaceful times in your busy life when you're going through it, but when you get to the calm, you don't know where to find that. So that's just been a kind of a struggle, and what God's been teaching me lately.
Yeah, that's really good. Thanks, guys, for sharing.
You have to share now as well.
Yeah. I've just been diving into the Word more. I've been challenged there, and also trying to start memorizing. I meet with a young man that's helping me and really pushing me to memorize verses, so I really appreciate that, with note cards around. And I've just not a very good person at memorizing, and so I've just kind of put it off. Mm-hmm. But it's time to start going after it, I think, and just studying more. Like, I enjoy studying the scriptures, and I've read through, but actually taking the time to like go through stuff slowly and read some commentaries about. It's like, wow, how did I miss this and how did I miss that in some areas? Like, I know the general overview, but just kind of picking that stuff up. So that's where I've been. And actually a little bit like you said too, Zach, is just I've been trying not to be so busy, like coming up here, and just spend more time with community and just thinking about what you guys are doing here and this outreach project and just loving on people and maybe having some more bonfire times as we get into that type of weather and just inviting people over instead of whatever, Jeremy work here, Jeremy work there, but just people always matter more than anything else I've pretty much got going on. So I just need to do a better job at that. So that's where I'm going to try and do better.
Sweet.
Yeah. We'll have to do some bonfires together.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, like Wednesdays, there'll be one and
for sure
sit around and it'll be good.
So if some kids were watching this right now, which I'm sure they are, what would you tell them that you enjoy most about being in community in the young adult ministry, whether Sunday morning or Wednesday night? They're like Wednesday night's kind of the spot. But
there's just something about being at a place with like-minded individuals that really pushes you in your faith, allows you to grow a lot. And if you aren't a Christian or aren't a like-minded individual, that's totally fine. We have many different people
we do
that attend.
Talking about that diversity earlier, it's kind of really cool.
Yeah, but it's just I don't want to sound like high school, but it's a judgment-free zone. It truly is. It's just a great atmosphere that kind of in the middle of your week can kind of pick you up if you're busy, if you're down in the dumps, whatever. And it's just fun.
It is. I agree. It picks me up. Yeah. I don't
know. It's just fun, happy, good environment. Why not go? Yeah. I
agree. How about you?
I think it's kind of cool for me because I think I have a little bit of a different perspective than like the people that go to college. Since I don't go to college, I'm not really around people my age that often. I mean, the guys I work with, they're all 30 plus, most of them, which is great. I really enjoy having those people in my life because the people at work have poured a lot of wisdom and life advice into me. But it's just cool to come around with people my age and fellowship and have community and kind of feel like I'm back in school again, if you will, being around the people that are my age and you just get to have fun and talk about God and not really
share
anything.
Struggles, pray for one another. Yeah. It's kind of cool when you're sitting in a room and sometimes you feel like you're the only one going through something, but when people share that I went through this and I went through that, I think that helps as well too.
Yeah, and not to intimidate anyone, but it's growing, and I mean it's growing for a reason. So, just place to be. So
yeah, and it's cool. I think I really enjoy you guys are doing a really good job of just inviting people, being bold, and people are coming because you guys are inviting other people in your sphere of circles, work circles, and your people even at your school. You're just inviting and they're coming. So it's just really, really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said earlier, you don't want to, if you truly show love, you're going to tell people about Jesus. And so it's kind of an easier way, too, than what do you believe?
Yeah.
It's more of what do you do for fun, specifically Wednesday night? Like, oh, nothing. That's a lot easier. But
it is.
I don't know.
That's really cool.
Yeah. How has God, such a big question. What's some things God's done in your life? Like, some ways you've seen him work, some things he's taught you.
He's taught me. There's been times in my life where he's definitely taught me how he's in control, because sometimes I can just get fired up about something and I can just start running with that thing like crazy, and I'll bulldozer over people, just run over people. And he just has taught me to be patient. And like Pastor Joel said, it's just realizing that there's so much for me to learn during the journey than just getting to point A to point B. And I was a guy that just would run as fast as I could, like just get the task done, and I was missing a lot in life, a lot of things that the Lord wanted to show me. So he, of course, slowed me down, and with some couple tough lessons, and those were painful, but I definitely learned from that. And I think we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, like I wouldn't trade those tough storms for anything. I mean, if you took all the storms out of my life, wow, I don't know that I would have much of a life. I mean, I wouldn't be the guy I am today, but I just really grew in my relationship with the Lord through those storms, and it changed me, and he constantly is refining me to be a better man, a better husband, a better father, a better friend, able to relate to people, love on people better, instead of just the younger Jeremy, about just full of myself, and all about me and what can I gain and what can I success and the dollar and going like that. So
why not make it all about you though? Isn't that more fun?
In the moment maybe.
Okay.
But not long term. It's not at all. If the Lord's, my relationship's growing with the Lord, I mean, it's not about me. I mean, as we keep learning and being refined and sanctified, I mean, it's not about me. It's about helping the Lord bring his lost sheep home to the shepherd. For sure. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and you get more joy. And
way more joy. And just loving on people's way. I mean, it's just empty, worrying about myself all the time. I mean, I don't. But that was a younger Jeremy. I might love on people for a reason, but you know what I mean? To truly love on people, to care for them, and to come alongside, I really enjoy that. I mean, I could do that all day long, and I'm blessed to be able to be in a job that I get to do that.
Yeah, a pretty flexible job that encourages it.
Yeah, exactly. It might encourage it a bit more than what it does in yours.
Yeah. So going off of like slowing down and loving others, I think a great way you do that is by giving.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This podcast wouldn't be possible without you. I guess the viewers didn't know, but
that's all right.
Like how has that come to you? Like how have you learned that? Because you say it's not natural.
It isn't. You know, I was blessed to have parents that modeled that for me, and to giving, and even giving whether it be financially or giving of time, even when they didn't have it. And so I was just really blessed to be able to have that model. You know, and there's times, I mean, I don't know if with you guys, there's times when I feel the Holy Spirit leading to give, and there's times when I'm obedient, and there's some times when I wasn't. And I can tell you those feelings after when I wasn't obedient, it just really hit me like, I wish, no, Lord, you wanted me to do something, and I did. And to not worry, even if it's giving to the point where you're kind of wondering what's next, and he'll take care of you. You just got to trust. You guys talking about that earlier. Trust is a big thing. I mean, it's all God's anyhow. There's times when I just think, oh wow, look at me, and look what I've accomplished. And yeah, I didn't.
Why is it all God's?
Why is it all God's?
Yeah.
Well, he owns everything. I mean, he doesn't want our money. He wants us to be obedient to him. I mean, we could start talking about tithes and offerings, and
he's provided us the resources, opportunities,
the giftedness, the skills you guys have to do this, all this stuff, and they're all those.
What skills to do?
We don't have any skills.
You guys
for
have
this.
Skills. You're doing great.
Shot.
I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are doing great, man. So, but yeah, he's provided all that stuff. The gifts that he's given me, I need to use them to help, not just to make money. You know, people matter. What do I always say? It's all going to burn, right?
Yeah.
It's all going to burn. So,
I mean, technically, money isn't going to burn. It's
true.
More digital now.
It's more digital now, but still.
The computer,
if you're getting in the weeds, Josh.
The computers are going to burn.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter, is what we're saying.
I know what you're saying.
So, like, unburnable metals, do you think those are going to burn?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Is there any unburnable metal?
Yeah.
What? You can melt any metal.
You can melt it. You can still melt gold.
Okay, but like a bonfire is not going to melt gold.
No.
But
SDI will.
Hot enough. Actually, a bonfire might melt gold.
Yeah.
I don't think gold's melting point's that high.
That high?
No. Because there's a guy's job that goes to the where do they burn the bodies?
Crematorium.
Crematory,
Mm-hmm.
and like sifts through the ashes
Really?
for precious metals. And
The melting point of gold is 1,948 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
I'm looking up the average bonfire temperature for the
I don't think it's
It's not
1,009.
1,000.
1,500 to 1,650.
Really?
So it's almost there. Is the average.
Wow. So who's got gold that they want to melt?
We're gonna have a big bonfire Friday. No, we're
No,
doing
like
a
actually.
Cinco de Mayo bonfire with a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone brings their favorite Hispanic dish, and we're just having a bonfire.
Sounds like you need to bring some gold, too.
I don't got any extra gold
Yeah, me
to try
neither.
and burn.
I'm not
throwing a
I'm not
bonfire.
burning my gold, but
Gold's worth some stuff right now with
Yeah.
the way things are happening in the economy.
yeah. Jeremy, do you have anything else about you? Like,
Tell us about your family. I mean, you've kind of touched on your family, but haven't really.
Maureen, I'm married to my lovely wife, Maureen, and then I have a
who's
dog.
been on here?
She's been on here,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's 3, 4,
I don't know, dude.
7, something
Four,
like
yeah,
that.
somewhere in there. Yeah, I think Jackson was 3. Yeah, but anyhow, and then I have a wonderful daughter, Eden. She's finishing up her freshman year in college. We're actually going to go pick her up this weekend and bring her home. And then my son Wyatt's a sophomore in high school, finishing up his sophomore year. Plays football and does track, and yeah, likes to detail cars if you need your cars detailed.
I actually might hit him up.
You want?
Is,
you should.
No, dude, I
You
hate
should.
cleaning
He's got his
cars
own
and-
business going there.
How is parenting? Is it challenging?
It can be challenging, yes. It can be challenging. It's just different nowadays too with all this technology stuff
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
finding a balance of
Yeah.
gaming or in your phone and spending time and but not being that parent that's constantly nagging, but I don't know, loving them well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a fun stage right now with Eden in college and just having Wyatt at home, and him and I go do some projects together and do different things, and we're clearing some woods right now, and so it's good. I don't know. I feel like I just get to focus on with Wyatt right now because he's the only one home, but we're excited to have Eden home, and so that'll be a lot of fun. And actually, the 3 of us do some side jobs together, some pressure washing and some other stuff together. We're going to go up and do some of that in a couple of weeks. So just the entrepreneur spirit, to do certain jobs like that. I get opportunities, and sometimes I just ask the kids, hey, you all in? Let's go bid this thing, and you want to do it? And other ones we turn down. So it's just blessed to have those opportunities for them then to see how all that works and have them helping bid things and then do the job and then realize, okay, we bid too low or we we hit it right on. So that was really good.
You run a few different side crap.
Yeah.
Side businesses.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what. I asked him one day what he does. He's like, I like to keep that personal. So I'm not gonna ask you. I'm not gonna ask you what you do.
Good,
but like,
'cause I wouldn't
how
answer you.
how do you incorporate God into entrepreneurship?
That's a great question. A lot. I mean, guys, you got to make sure that all your dealings don't lack integrity, and to be forthright with how you handle everything. Because I could maybe pull the wool over your eyes, but God sees it all. I mean, just all those business dealings need to be God honoring, and all that I do, and word and deed needs to honor the Lord. So, and He'll bless that.
Yeah, and I think it's very you have to have a lot of integrity in that because everyone would do something for a set amount of money. We like to ask a crazy question like, would you do whatever for? Or, what's the lowest amount you would do something crazy for? And, and everyone has an answer, unfortunately. It's like, well, if you're an entrepreneur, you really have to set boundaries, maybe have some accountability even. So, yeah, that's...
It is. It makes it. I mean, I think I've told you guys this story before, but I was working for a company doing really well with some jobs, and the owner asked me to. I was in a room with about 30 other people, and there's all these other salesmen, and I'm a subcontractor at the time, and I've got a friend with me, and he's just coming. I think he's just coming to church at that time. We're building a relationship. He's coming to church, and the owner asked me to go to a client and to lie to her. There's just no. I just looked at him and I said, "No, I'm not going to go do that. If you want to tell her that, you can do it. But I'm not. I'm going to go do the job, do it the way I'm supposed to do it, and then I'm going to leave. And if she comes out and talk to me, I'm going to tell her the truth. But when I said no to him, you could have heard a pin drop in that place, because it was the type of place that no one ever told that guy no. Mm-hmm. And guys, I was a little nervous after I said no. I'll just be honest with you. It was like, whoo. But you know what? He respected me more for that. And I've been with that company coming on almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. And I did that in my 30s is when I made that comment to him. So, yeah, like you were talking about being bold. I mean, you just have to. You know what? If I didn't lose it, the Lord would have blessed some other way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to trust. You got to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And if you mess up and you didn't do the right thing, then you need to go make it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we're not perfect.
You feel better when you do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guilt's no fun.
Don't carry that burden. And
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Holy Spirit will convict you. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
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 You guys have had that feeling too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you what, just learning to obey the Holy Spirit is a good spiritual discipline too. To when it nudges you to be bold, when it nudges you to make those comments to your friend or your coworker about Jesus. I mean, just listen. I believe the Lord takes all my babblings. You know, sometimes I mix up my words, but I'm trying. He has my words fall fresh on the ears of those that need to hear it. And so I can try my best and don't get worried about not saying the right thing. And even if I screw it up, they'll like, wow, he's not perfect. You know what I mean? He can he's taken a lot of my screw ups. So isn't that not what young adult ministry, a lot of it's about, is we're learning about the Lord. But I've told you guys, I don't want you to screw up as much as I did at that age. And I'm going to be vulnerable and tell you what I did and why I did it. And I shouldn't have done it, and the guilt and the consequences after it, because I want you guys to do better. So I think I've screwed up enough for all of you in my 20s. So I like that he's using my screw ups now.
I think about that sometimes. Like, God has a plan, but his plan obviously isn't for us to sin.
Mm-hmm.
But then he uses that after. Like, what's the relationship between his plan and, like, using sin? Like,
So you're saying, like, what if you would have went through life and just never messed up? And
no,
you just were,
no.
And his plan was for, explain to me, sorry, I don't
yeah,
track
so
in your man.
he obviously didn't plan for you to screw up.
But I made I have free will, and I have a choice, and I
did.
made the poor choice. Like we've talked about in group, how we have a choice. He gives us a way out. Was it Corinthians 10 or
13, 10:13, I
10,
think.
13, yes, we've talked about. And I didn't choose the way of God. I chose the worldly way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But yet there's still consequences to my decisions, but he can take those and use them. It's kind of awesome how he can use our screw-ups. That gives us hope. That gives us those that have, like strayed away, like I talked about. That gives us hope. I don't have to work my way back to it or love enough people back to it. I mean, he paid that ultimate price. Like we remembered taking communion on Sunday,
Did you guys take communion Sunday?
We did.
No. I was at work, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's all good.
Was it a good day at work?
Yeah.
Are Sundays busy?
No, they're stupid.
Yeah. You're in a commercial business, and I just wondered how many people are actually buying paint on Sundays.
I don't know if I should comment on this.
Okay.
Do you want me to come in on every Sunday when you work and buy paint?
Don't comment on that.
No,
Josh.
please don't.
Why?
Because he wants the stats to show that they shouldn't be open on Sunday.
Guys, let's carry on.
Sorry.
I sold a pump Sunday, actually. So
Did you?
That's impressive.
That is impressive. Those are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
$5 item there, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
What's the color that you mix the most?
Agreeable gray, 7029.
I love it.
Agreeable gray.
It's a good color.
You heard it here, guys.
Is it a cool color?
Yeah, all of our colors are cool. Come on.
Is it a light gray or dark gray? Agreeable gray.
Light gray.
Light.
Yeah.
Like a repost gray?
No. That's
No?
like
That gray?
that's way too light.
Yeah, like this gray.
No, that's really blue.
Like that
It
gray?
is.
That's really dark.
It's really light gray, isn't it? That's what's in
It's
right
like
now.
a medium gray.
So the worship center is called repost gray on the light color
Yeah.
balls.
Mm.
Yep. That's 7015.
Is it?
015.
It's impressive, man.
What's
You have a great memory.
7016?
I don't know.
Hey, man, you should know this stuff.
You should
But-
take that. You can memorize scripture with a memory like that. I'm jealous of that.
Oh, crap. Fair enough.
He's got you there.
I think, Now, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But I think nowadays with technology, you always have a Bible in your pocket. If you can pull up, if you know roughly where it's at and roughly what it says, like, I think that's perfect.
I agree.
For current times. Now, it is ideal to memorize and know where it's at, everything. But, like, if you know, like 1 Corinthians 10:13, or whatever, we know roughly what it says, roughly where it's at.
Yep.
So
we got the gist of it. And I can look it up, like you said, real quick on my phone.
Yeah.
And figure it. And they have all kinds of. I was my friend that I meet with, and they have apps that can help you memorize scripture too.
Dave showed me one of them.
Yeah. That's really, really cool. What are you guys reading right now? Anything?
Finishing Proverbs. With Addie's dad, Kevin Jordan. Shout out. I know he's
KJ,
listening.
Special K.
I don't call him that.
I have called him that. Josh, you can't call him that.
Yep, finishing that. Yeah. Where are you?
I'm about to hop into Leviticus.
Ooh.
Wow. The main reason is I got absolutely flamed on one of the podcasts for saying Leviticus was boring, so I figured it's probably time to actually read it for myself.
Be humbling.
It was humbling. It was.
I bet it was.
Yeah. Came after a lot, that episode about Leviticus, because it kept coming up, but...
Yeah. I don't know why you would call God's word boring, but that's just me.
But it's a little dry.
Yeah, it's a little dry. But you know what? There's still good stuff in the chronological order. You know, when they go through all the. I mean, when you dig deep into it, I remember talking to Jeff about it. He was telling me there's just some really good stuff, and he's right. There's a lot of good stuff if you really dig deep into, you know, which families they came from and all that good stuff. So it's just really, really cool.
Why would someone want to get into contact with you?
Why would someone get in contact with me?
We're trying to grow a community, like
for young adults. Or we're talking about for
or like
work here.
Maybe need some help. Maybe some fix-it ministry stuff.
Yeah, you could get in contact with me. We've got Tyler and Dave are heading up our fix-it ministry, but I channel that stuff through. If you want to help out in the church, you want to help out, you know, people that need stuff. Maybe some widows or some people that just don't. Know how to do it, you know, come alongside and help them. And Mission 25, I know the Fix It Ministry guys are working over at Mission 25, which is a great organization. Sean Ellis and her crew do a really good job over there of just meeting people where they're at and helping them with like a homeless shelter, but then also just teaching them to be self-sustainable, you know, and a program to help them to work through to give them a hand up, you know, not a hand out, but a hand up to help them. There's lots of different stuff. You go down with, you know, right now we have, this isn't to do with me, but Debbie has a need for children's ministry volunteers. I mean, that ministry is growing, and, you know, we just need more volunteers here at the church for that. So,
and that, I think a lot of people, like, they've been, like, unfortunately needing volunteers for quite a while. And I think a lot of people don't feel equipped to do that, or they know enough or good enough, and that's not the case at all.
Not at all.
God doesn't call the equipped; He equips the called.
Yep, and that's me. I mean, I'm not equipped to lead a young adult group.
Like but Debbie does a great job with handouts, preparing.
She does. Everything's there for you. You just need to show up and love on some kids, and you know, read a lesson. And they've even been helping out. They've got some ladies that are teachers, even if you're like an assistant or just helping out to keep order. I mean, when you have new families drop kids off, I mean, you don't want these big unruly classes. I mean, they want to know that their kids be well taken care of, and that just takes volunteers to have that.
And even just talk to Debbie, email, whatever. If you are remotely interested but maybe feel a little hesitant, just reach out, talk, figure some stuff out. Don't just shut it off.
Don't shut it off. I agree. There's lots of opportunities here, with snacks and different things. I mean, there's so many different opportunities. Contact me, Jeremy at fcog.church. I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities to come here, or if you want to get outside the church, if you just like, you know what, I'm not quite sure, I want to take that first step, start volunteering here at church. And then the next step might be to volunteer out in the community. And the next step might be do it regionally, internationally. I mean, they're just take baby steps. I mean, that's how I did it. And I was just excited to be able to do that. And I think retired guys come in, we've got outside maintenance that needs done, just with spraying weeds, you know, just doing little things. Just so when people pull up, they, you know, hey, this, I didn't mean it that way. Pull up to the building, that the building seems, look at you guys laughing. When they come to the church, how's that?
Okay.
Yeah. That, hey, this, people have taken some time to pay attention to some details to make it seem warm and inviting, is what I'm getting at. So.
Yeah, awesome.
The
Awesome.
pull-up joke comes from, we like to teach Jeremy a lot of the newer slang terms. And so we get him to say, like, you're going to pull up to the church later, or you're going to pull up to Freeman's small group on Wednesday, type of stuff.
And
so.
I just don't say it as cool as you guys, and so that's why they're laughing. I'm trying, but I just don't have it. I'm just too old.
Let's talk leadership team.
Okay.
Before we wrap up, let's talk leadership team. Your own leadership team have been in different roles.
Yep.
First off, what is leadership team?
So leadership team is like the church board, but it's made up of 4 lay elders, 4 stewardship team people, and then 4 facility or trustees. And then you've got myself and Mindy and Debbie are the staff, and Rob are the staff people that are appointed
Rob's
on.
technically an elder, correct?
Yep, Rob's
Okay.
an elder. Mindy's on stewardship. I'm on facility, and Debbie is appointed. So.
Okay. Yeah, and what is this team?
Yeah, so this church is, per constitution, is congregationally ran, but then you have the leadership team that, you know, they're put together with lay people from the church together to represent the congregational body, with some staff people on there just to help, I forget the word, just to lead, to help, I don't want to say lead, but help administrate what needs to be done. And so we have the staff then that follows out with the rules, like not the rules, but like whatever the leadership team is pushing for. I shouldn't say pushing, sorry. You know, the vision, you know, we worked on vision, we worked on some other things, the elders work on that, we're going through a transitional period right now, but just making a decision, and it's praying. I mean, a lot of it, we're time spent prayerfully considering what the Lord has for us, and as we sit around this room right here, just talking about we all need to be praying, so we come together and make decisions that we know it's the Lord and where He wants us to go. And I remember being a younger Jeremy, and just feeling if I didn't pray about it when I came to the table, I probably should just keep my mouth shut, because I wouldn't want what Jeremy thinks to be brought out to the table, but I want what the Lord wants us to do, and to not let my fleshly thoughts and desires to get into the way. Does that make sense? And if I'm going to be a leader, I need to be in prayer. I need to be, you know, do fasting, whatever it takes, and being in the Word. And I think that's just been great. We've got to get together this last few months and just dive into the Word and do devotionals and pray together and just seek the Lord's guidance on what He wants next for this church and what's it look like in 5 years. You know, just lots of that type of stuff going on. There's also, you know, if there's any problems or stuff, that's where it goes to the leadership team, to the elders. But
Yeah, it's just kind of behind the scenes.
it is all behind the scenes.
But
That people are meeting with people, you know, talking with people. There's elders are doing a lot of work right now just with the transition we're going through with the senior pastors. So they're spending a lot of hours in here on the phone, Zoom calls, meeting with people, and so it'll be really cool. Yeah. There's a meeting, congregational meeting on the 17th, I believe.
Yeah.
And so that'll be really cool. We'll have a couple affirming votes for a couple folks, and then some prayer time, and also just talk about what's next and how things are going, the church committees together, and some different things. So there's information will be rolled out in that meeting for those that want to know. So
cool. Yeah.
That's really good stuff.
Then I would argue and vouch for a leadership team not being really known.
Yeah.
Just kind of want to.
Yeah, you've had some leadership team people on here, Kyle and Michelle, and I'm not sure who else you've had on here. Dave, yeah. Dave's.
That's it.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let people know who's, you know, kind of on that team, kind of
Yes.
speaking for
Yep, the people.
the people, yeah.
Mhm.
And
For sure.
For God. So
For God, yeah, that would be better for God.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like that.
It's kind of confusing, but
It is, and maybe I didn't do the best of job of describing it, but I do take it serious. I've been blessed to be able to do that for quite a few years, and just I know that really grew me too. I mean, I've had the guys pour into me and just really to show me what it means to be a godly man and a godly leader, and I really appreciate that. Like Rex and Jerry and Bob and Steve, there's been others, Craig Langauer, just guys that I got to see, and they took me along to some tough meetings where we went and meet with some people, and I remember being a little nervous, going in, but they modeled it, and now I find myself like, wow, I'm getting to that age where now I need to do the same thing, or just to be quiet. You don't always have to be the first one to speak at a meeting, listening goes a long ways,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That's something I think Zach and I both have talked to you, that like we probably used to be the first to speak everywhere. Very loud, very
Stupid.
silly, just dumb. And we kind of developed that reputation in some spaces, and we're like, okay, now let's sit back, let's kind of try to be more wise. You get that from Proverbs and other things. Try to listen and be mature. And I would correct me if I'm wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say we have been more mature. Just sometimes that reputation is
still there. Yep.
And so it's just something that we're growing with, kind of how you had to grow with sometimes not talking. If you didn't pray, don't talk. And
and there's sometimes I thought I had to say the first thing, And it was interesting. Jim Martin, which is another great man that him and his wife Carolyn mentored me a lot, loved me like a son. But I remember when I was early on in my 20s being on leadership team, and then I took I can serve 2 terms, and then you have to take a break. Like you can serve 2 4-year terms, so 8 years, and then
which is a
take a year
long
off.
time.
It is, but it goes faster than you think sometimes.
Of course.
And then I remember being interviewed to come back on again, and I remember Jim saying, you were a boy before, but now you're a man. And I was just like, wow. I mean, that was, at first I was like, I thought I did good early, but no, he was so right. Like I was, because of what you just said. I wanted to speak first. I wanted to volunteer. I wanted to do all this, but just sitting back and listening and realizing if someone else is sharing, I don't have to share the same thing again, just in my own words, just so everybody can know what I think. Because oh wow, Jeremy said. I mean, just sitting back, and if it didn't get said, and the Holy Spirit's prompted me to say it, then say it. And I remember raising my hands on a couple of things too. That I just really felt the Holy Spirit prompted me to say something, and it was totally opposite of what the room was reading to say. And I remember being nervous by raising my hand in obedience and saying it, and it ended up the meeting kind of shifted around, and it was all the Lord just, like you said. Trying to be bold, listening to the Holy Spirit and being bold when you need to be bold. So I remember some of those stories along the way that gave me confidence, I need to do better at this.
It's definitely a medium that you have to be mature and wise, but also obedient and bold, not just sitting and listening. But when you talk, people are like, oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. You're not doing it for that. I just want to give God the glory in that, and make sure and be mindful that I never, think it's about me, because that's a slippery slope too.
Oh, yeah. That's not what I meant at all.
I know it's not.
Where God's working through you, where people notice and okay, that's
but it
good point. That's not stupid.
No, but when he works through you, and you can get a little bit of, wow, he's working through me here and here and here, and
you could.
Before you know, you can be like, oh wow, I've got, and it's all God. And just remembering we serve a jealous God. Taking His praise is not something we want to do. So, and I have noticed that. So I think you guys are doing great. But it is hard, isn't it, when that reputation follows you, and you just can't ditch it. Sometimes it gets annoying, but I promise you, it will go away.
Man, it's just part of growing and
it is
stuff. It's all.
And don't worry.
All
so
good.
Keep up the good work. You guys are doing good, and I really appreciate what you're doing here. What you're doing for the kingdom. I mean, just your boldness. It's contagious, so keep it up.
Thank you. I just think, there's a lot of people in this church. Pause there. There's a lot of people in this church.
Yeah,
for sure.
So people don't know everyone. There might be a lot of people that don't even know you're on staff. That see you every week, and they're like, oh, he just leads a small group. Whatever.
Why does that guy always bring his computer to church?
Get off your computer, dude.
Just so you know, if I'm on my
sending the emails.
Really, man?
This Sunday we were having some major chiller issues, so I control the HVAC at the church with my computer, and I was sitting down in the front row teaching, but we were having issues, and I was trying to get stuff to some guys remotely. And I was actually taking pictures of like valves and stuff on my computer, like, hey, this isn't set right. Why is this not operating correctly? And so
Yeah.
So I'm kind of tweaking stuff when I'm sitting there in the front row. I'm not sending emails or watching YouTube or anything.
Dude, I've seen you watching YouTube half the time. Don't lie.
You've watched the little fan spin around, haven't you?
Yeah. It's kind of cool, honestly.
But
It is.
yeah, there's people like you. Many don't know work here. You don't have to work here, but there's many people. People just don't know. And I think that's part of growing communities, knowing each other.
It is.
And I think it's cool because we might have an episode where somebody sees this certain person and they spark a conversation with them because they have the same interests, which I think that'd be really cool to hear stories like that.
I do too.
We had Kyle Bauer on. He'll probably be the one before you pushed out, so people already know if they've seen it. But just a great guy. We never really talked to him like that. Incredible story. Worked his butt off. Still does, but just very relatable story, I think, to a lot of people. So can help others grow, help connect others in that way. And then
for sure,
at the end of it, he's like, now I'm farming and golfing, so people can relate in that aspect too. And it's just a way for maybe people like that to connect with each other. And I don't know, just trying to use digital and social media for good rather than
I think that's great.
all this hateful crap out on it.
Isn't that nice when we're doing this for good and get off of our devices for stuff that pulls our time away? That's
kind of off devices.
I mean, just because we have the device here,
Yeah.
we don't want them.
I mean, like, I shouldn't say off devices, off of social media stuff, and I'm not trying to be all anti-social media, but I just think we can get
I'll be anti-social
so hooked
media.
up into that stuff that before you know it, you got 45 minutes and hours passed, and I'm glad that we've had a couple of challenges in group, and I'm glad I just don't, it's not there anymore.
Why
I'm with you, like
waste that
reading my
time?
Bible app or something, or like growing, or like I love studying for stuff, and I don't know, it's a lot better.
An hour on, I don't know, what TikTok could be another memory verse, or it could,
or some proverbs. It's helping you. Look how reading and how, like, you know what, we need to change a little bit. I mean, that's huge. You wouldn't have got that from TikTok.
Yeah, it could be a phone call to someone, whatever. Just now, if social media isn't kind of hurting your mindset or whatever, sure, it's not bad, but I would argue 24/7. 7 days a week that there are better things to do.
Yes, I would too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm not against. I've never had Facebook. I've never had any social media. I've just seen it have people leave the church over it. I mean, people comparing to people.
It's crazy.
And it's too bad. And people don't feel like they measure up to Christians because they see how they are and they're trying to be something they're not on social media. And I don't know. It's just, I guess I'm sure it can be used for good too, but I've just experienced some of the hurt. And
well, I think many people might not agree with this, but I mean, just maybe reflect and try it without social media for 2 weeks. Like, and if you can't, well, maybe that shows something. Sorry.
We were on the way back from Passion this year. We had people dumping stuff, and we were cutting our timers down. Whenever we were challenging one another
setting timers. Some people were deleting apps. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. I have the Instagram app now to check out the podcast Instagram. Not on that often. And then watch some YouTube, but some Twitter for sports. But
yeah,
that's good.
Nothing.
What do you guys think? We talked about Passion a little bit. So one more thing.
Yeah, one more.
So we're going to Passion again this year, January 2nd through the 5th. Wanting to get a big crew going. I mean, asking you to invite your friends, churched, unchurched, in this community. Tell the viewers this last Passion or the Passion before, what's one thing that stuck out to you, just to share, to kind of give them a little bit of glimpse into it? Like, what did it mean to you? Maybe it wasn't even Passion. Maybe it was just the trip down. I mean, the whole experience from the time we left to the time we got back. What stuck out to you?
Yeah, going off of kind of what I said earlier about what I like about our young adults group. is this is just magnified to thousands of like-minded individuals.
Tens of thousands.
People in the same places.
70,000
same,
this year. Yeah.
same struggles, same interests, whatever, and same love for the Lord. And maybe there's some unbelievers, whatever.
For sure.
Just same place though, same positive atmosphere. It's just a great kind of get out of my secular work, get out of secular school, whatever, and get into a place where it's like, okay, now we can kind of grow together, come together, and just glorify God together. And then with our group that we take down, you get pretty close with them. You get to play games, hang out, mess around in the hotel lobby. Where the heck did we go? And we like went to some random conference room floor last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Opened some random room you're supposed to rent.
And we just walked in.
And just played cards and hung out.
The year before, we walked like 2.5 miles to get a jug of juice. Like,
yeah,
that's just what we do on those trips. It's so much
fun.
fun.
Just spending time together.
And it's just fun. Like, no one's like when we hang out at school or whatever, people are always cussing, just being all, I don't know, stupid. Not that we are the brightest bulbs there, but
we're having fun though.
Like, it's just innocent.
It's a different type of
innocent
fun.
that's actually kind of like fulfilling. Rather,
It is. That's a great way to put it. It is fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoy it. Plus, great speakers, great worship. But that's my favorite part is the community. Big community guy here.
I agree. I definitely really enjoy the community aspect of it. I mean, the van rides down, just getting to know each other, and then goofing off, and then the van ride back, talking over the conference and sharing what we learned, and just having deep conversations with the people in your van is really cool. I mean, I learned a lot about the guys.
Yeah, getting to know each other.
In the van on the way back. I learned probably more on the way back than I did on the way there.
Yep.
Because we had just went through a whole time of seeing God move, and when God moves, people start to open up, I feel like. And so that's just really cool to learn more about the people that you thought you knew a lot about at the beginning of the week. At the end of the week, you learn so much more, which is super cool.
It is really cool.
And then just to see God move in the arena, man. I mean,
it's powerful.
I know why it happened, but when we went 2 years ago, the opening night, when they opened the roof, the cold air rushing in from outside. I mean, obviously I know it was the cold air, but it felt like the Holy Spirit just like going across the whole room. That was super cool. Just the different times, like it wasn't just then. It was like so many times throughout the 2 years. You can feel the Holy Spirit moving through the air. It's almost like you could touch it, and you can't. But like, it's just super cool. I mean, I remember our first year when Louis Giglio was talking. End of the day, like 7 o'clock at night, we'd been there since like 9 in the morning. I was super tired. My legs were sore. But I just remember like God moving in me and like calming me down. Didn't feel like my legs stopped hurting. It was just laser focus on the talk. That was just super cool to actually feel God moving inside me. That's probably one of the first times I had ever actually really felt that, and that's just stuck out to me since. And
that's awesome.
I still go back to that talk and listen to it because it was such a huge talk for me to hear. And the community. I mean, we have so much fun on that trip.
We do.
I mean, we played some Madden this year. I mean, watch movies.
Yep.
Run around the hotel, ding dong ditch, like
all fun stuff.
We ding dong ditch our own like
people.
We don't just hit random people's doors. We're not.
Never ever have we hit a random door.
I don't think we have.
Yeah, we have.
I haven't.
Yeah, but if you are interested in, even remotely interested, just want to talk about it, please reach out to any of us. We'd love to discuss, talk about. I don't know, it's a inexpensive trip, to be honest.
It really is.
You get to enjoy great people, great community, and go see some cool things. Hear some cool speakers. Hear their great message, which is the most important part. And then great worship songs you're going to be familiar with, which is the best part.
It is.
You know what you're singing and can kind of embrace the worship rather than having to learn. Which some of the stuff you have to learn, but
but you learn it pretty quick, and
because we sing them all like the whole time, and
we sing them.
It gets better each time we sing it.
It does, and by the end you're like, wow. And then it's kind of cool because in the next few months, then they start rolling out. So we got to hear all of them first, and then like a month or so later, they start.
Which that month in between, you get Nancy to listen to that song again.
Yeah, it's really good. And then remember last year we went back to our hotel. And we looked down, and they were baptizing people in the hot tub at our hotel.
Yeah, that was really cool to see.
That was really cool. They just sort of lighting up, and that was really neat.
Yeah. We never did get in that hot tub. We were going to. We got to bring some trunks next year.
I mean, you can just feel like something's going on in Atlanta those couple of days. You can just feel it in the air, which is really cool. It might just be the crappy weather that we've had when we've been down there, but
every time it's crappy weather.
It's all good. But yeah, we want to take a bus. I don't know if that's been passed through people or what here, but we're taking a bus.
We're working on it.
Hit us up,
you gotta spread the word. We gotta fill it. Like what, 40-some, 50-some spots or something. Easy.
Get us 2.
Yes. Let's get it done.
Make it 3.
Make it 3. Get us some drivers.
Yeah, that's the main problem.
It is
get drivers. And the actual bus.
You have your CDL,
but not chauffeurs.
Non-passenger. I mean, if you guys like.
Want to ride in a semi bed?
I don't know. We could maybe figure it out, but that's we could get a 53-foot box trailer and put some seats in it, maybe. But
anyways,
we'd love to have you come. Yeah.
Last question. I know we've done this podcast before. I don't remember your answer.
I think I remembered.
What's your dream trip, man?
What's my dream trip? I'd love to travel over Switzerland and then Bora Bora.
Okay.
So I want to see a little bit of the Alps, a little bit of snow, and then I'd like to go overwater bungalow. It's something Marina I've always wanted to do.
Is it just you two going?
It's just me two going. I know in Marine's podcast she was inviting the kids, but I'm not. So that's just straight up how it is.
You heard it here first, Eden White. You're not going on the trip, guys.
Exactly.
But I always tell my kids when we're off doing these fun vacations, and Edie's like, "Oh, I wish I could go on it, do that vacation." I just say, "Well, stay in school, get good grades, and get a good job, and you can have a good vacation."
I mean, you literally didn't stay in school or get good grades.
But I worked hard. You would say I would agree. No good grades.
You did one of those 3 things, and you're still doing it. So
there you go.
She's already doing better than you.
She's doing both of my kids are smarter than I am and doing way better than I am. So
that's okay.
Smarter? Do they apply themselves more in school?
They apply themselves more. They're more disciplined,
which probably makes you feel better that way. That it's them and not you.
Yeah, it is. I'm really proud of them. So
I'm sure my parents are happy. I'm the smartest and best looking.
Dude, my back hurts from having the kid to get loose in my family.
I'm joking. I am putting this out there. This
Let me call
is
Heather
a
real
joke.
quick and see if this is true.
This is a joke. Anyways, thank you, Freeman, for coming on. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't, man.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening, watching. This has been awesome.
Before you wrap it up, we've had the idea of maybe having Jeremy on again a couple times and just having more conversation like we did tonight. So you guys could hear more from me and Josh. If that's something that you guys would be interested, just comment down below. You never know, man.
Yeah, they do. You guys want comment? Yes, you do.
Just comment down below. I mean, it's an idea we've kicked around for a little bit, just getting to hear from me and Josh more. And now that you guys have met Jeremy, I think he'd be a good guy to bring back and have him kind of facilitate some conversation. So yeah, just comment down below if that's something you guys would like to see.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you guys for watching. It's been the Outreach Project. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.